Good evening, pug lovers and card collectors of all kinds. Trying out a new intro. See if it catches on. Not really sure if I like it or not. But I do a bunch of other card games just besides Magic, although Magic is the thing I do mostly. We haven't done Yu-Gi-Oh! On this channel in quite a while, but we did talk about it a little bit. Actually, no. I was going to do a video on it, and then I canceled that video. I remember now. It is technically Saturday and Sunday counted, so I suppose we're on day 3 of our vacation. And I came up with this neat idea that I'm just going to do some vacation logs for you guys every couple of days or so. Maybe open an extra pack or two on the channel while I'm on vacation. Give you an update on what Kaiba and I have been up to. Let you know how things are progressing as we plan for our vacation, etc., etc. Kaiba over there is not super happy with me tonight. The heat wave has been really bad still again today. It was supposed to rain at some point and break the heat wave, but it really didn't. Although, my brother pointed out it is a little cooler than it was, but still not really super great. Definitely not puggy approved weather. So, we did get him outside and playing in the backyard at least a little bit. It's shady back there because of the way the sun hits the house in the evenings, so he got to have some fun with the ball and stuff, but still not super happy overall. We also figured out, Zach helped me figure out, my brother, figure out that, apparently, part of the reason why my pug is missing my dad so much is because I don't really use the TV, at all. I basically watch most things on, YouTube, so just gonna plug in the phone before it goes into battery saver mode and somehow destroys this recording. Um, yeah, I mostly watch things on YouTube and streaming platforms, stuff like that. I don't really watch regular TV anymore. But when my dad's here, the regular TV is on constantly throughout the day because basically that's what my dad does when he's here and he's not doing stuff in the yard or doing stuff in his garage or whatever. He's watching TV. That's pretty much what he likes to do with his time now. So Kaiba's gotten kind of used to having the TV noise in the background, and I realized for the last like 2.5 weeks, the only time I turn on the TV is basically when I'm going out to work because I don't want him to be lonely. So we're gonna try and put on the TV a few hours each day from now on and see if it helps with his sort of mild depression at missing my dad. He definitely perked up some and played in the house while the TV was on and snuggled with me some, and so yeah, that's the update on Kaiba. As for me, just gonna shrink this back down to the regular size and put it over here. I had a fairly productive third day of my vacation. I didn't do any chores or anything that much per se. Um, Tried to make an omelet, which didn't turn out super great today. Maybe do better on it next time, but not really sure what I messed up. Maybe I used too big a frying pan and it thinned out, but when I tried to fold it over, it all got messy as heck, so it's either that or I used too much salsa. Either way, it wasn't terrible, but not the greatest omelet I've ever had. In addition to that, I worked on some deck stuff. The Commander Core Challenge deck is pretty much together. I might tweak it here or there throughout the next 15 or so days, especially if I pull some other cards from packs that I think might go well into it, but it is prepared for the final Saturday of the month. As for this week, the other thing I worked on today was the Goblin deck, but I'm a little torn on that, to be perfectly honest. So that is one thing that I thought I would talk to you guys about. What's up, Kaiba? You can come over? He is now sitting up and approving or giving me the stare down. Like, why did you stop filming me? I'm the most important thing. You know this. Actually, I think it's because I used the W word a couple times in this video already, and he thinks that that means we're going. But I told you, buddy, it's too hot. I'll take you outside in a bit, okay? I don't expect these logs to be super long. I figured like 10, 15-minute videos. So I wanted to make sure that we keep this not too long, like I say. So therefore, I'm just going to go over a couple more things, and then we're going to open a couple packs. Here comes Kaiba. So with regards to the Goblin deck, my original intention was not to build a red, black, green deck. And to be honest, I'm still not really sure whether I want to build a red, black, green Goblin deck. I did go out and I did get the Shatter Gang Brothers, which I got like a. I didn't pay too much for it. It wasn't like the most expensive version of the cards. So I'm not like super upset if I don't play it right away. And I do have a decent enough pile of goblins that I can play probably both decks if I wanted to. Like if I wanted to build two decks. But the original commander for the goblins deck was supposed to be this one. And I really like this card a lot. I think it'll make for a really funny commander. First off, cute, cute card, right? I mean, come on. This is clearly the Queen of Goblins right here. And second off, I really like her ability. Um, the trouble is when I read her ability, the first time, and then I put her away for a while, and we started talking about building the deck into red, black, and green on the channel. Um, I forgot that her ability only works on green and red instants and sorceries. I thought it worked on any instant and sorcery. And I mean, she has a really cool ability. First off, when she comes into play, I automatically make two red and green Goblin Warrior creature tokens. So that's just a bonus right there in the first place. But then, in addition to that, all my instants and sorceries that are green or red have Conspire, which means if I tap two creatures that have the same color as the spell that I play, when I play it, I get to copy that spell. So I was originally wanting to make like a really cool red green like sort of like Spellslinger deck almost, focusing on the use of goblins, which I thought would be a really cool deck to build. The difficulty with that is there is not a freaking lot of green goblins. Just super quick, that, 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 this, 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 and even counting it as an honorary goblin, I would still only have one orc to add into this pile. I don't have any actual green goblins that are pure green. I don't know whether they ever actually made a green goblin that's pure green, to be honest. I have a ridiculous amount of red goblins, so copying the red spells is super easy. But with regards to the green ones, not so much. Unless I kind of take the focus off of just goblins, in which case then it becomes less of a fun theme deck. So that is the challenge that I'm facing right now is what to build exactly with regards to the goblin set. Um, I could easily build a red-green deck that's mostly red and has very few green instants and sorceries, focusing a lot more on like pain dealing spells, which I'll then copy and do damage to people multiple times, but or make multiple tokens or whatever. But I mean, the biggest issue that I'm just having right now is simply what's worth building because even with regards to black, I mean, I've got two that are black red plus four black ones, another black red one, and these ones, which are some goblins and some orcs. So they're not all goblins, but I mean, like, that's all pure red. So either way, this is a green warrior guy that I thought would be fun to put in because if you pay two and tap it, you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature token you control, and this is going to make a ton of goblins. And then all those goblins would get trampled until end of turn. So I thought this would be like an honorary goblin that I might include into the deck somehow. But other than that, like there's really not a lot of green or even black goblins per se. Like this is an okay stack, but I mean compared to the thickness of this, like that's just night and day the difference. So I need to go through all this stack of goblins and figure out which ones are useful and which ones aren't. If there's enough useful ones to build two decks, I might eventually build two decks, but I'm still leaning towards wanting to build this first. Um, to be perfectly honest, I really think that'll be a fun one to build as a commander, but we'll see. Anyways, that's where I'm at for today. That was basically my day. Um, with regards to our vacation coming up, I'm planning to um, leave Friday like midday, probably a little bit before that, to head over to Kai's in Perry Sound. So I'm going to be pre-recording the Saturday video and the Super Deck Sunday videos this week. Probably do that on Thursday. Maybe do it even on Wednesday. And so those ones I'll record them specifically on my phone. They won't be laptop videos. So you won't get to see my beautiful face, unfortunately, but unless I decide to turn the camera around. But I will give you some shots of Kaiba, don't worry, for each of those videos. And speaking of which, I figured during that vacation trip up to Perry Sound and back, I'm going to do some filming of Kaiba at various times, and we're going to put together a nice vacation video for the following Saturday for you guys. This Saturday is going to be like a random product Saturday. I'm probably thinking about opening one of the two pre-release kits that I still have from when I got like 4 or 5 of them on sale all at once. Um, but right now, and Super Deck Sunday, I haven't decided what deck I want to do just yet. I'm leaning towards the Sacrifice deck, but I haven't decided for sure. Anyways, in the meantime and between time, let's crack a couple packs for some shits and giggles. I do have a Brothers War pack tonight, and I have a Core 2021 pack for you guys tonight. So I figured we'd crack each of them, see what we get, see if there's anything else that we can toss into the Goblin deck, or some of the other ones that I want to build this week, slash touch up. I have um I have about 5 or 6 decks that I want to touch up still this week, so that I have lots of different options for Super Deck Sundays. Body Brothers War. And then in terms of the the new builds, I have a mono white angel deck I want to build, and I have a mono black deck that I want to build around sacrificing and regenerating and all that good normal black stuff. Um, If you saw today's opening of the Jumpstart Your Day, you know that I pulled some really cool stuff in that Jumpstart, which is going to go great into my mono black deck. Unfortunately, that means that one's going to get skipped for my cube, but maybe I'll get lucky and pull a second one in another Foundations pack. We still have like 15 or 20 Foundations packs to open yet, at least, so I'm not too worried about that. Anyways, on the backside, we've got one of these stupid game cards. They actually made these back in that day? Mishra's Manufactory. Eh. I mean, if you guys like those, give me a shout out in the comments that you like them, but I personally am just not a fan of the little mini games they include most of the time. There's the odd one that sounds interesting, but I'm not even going to bother reading that right now. I like the artwork on this, though. That's some nice artwork for sure. Alright, what we got first? We got ourselves a Plains first, followed by an Urza's Rebuff. Counter target spell or tap up to 2 target creatures. Either way, that's nice for 1 and 2 blue. That's not bad at all. I'll take that any day. The lighting is a little bit silly, so we'll turn on the regular light and see if it helps with the focus. Which it does, but there's a shadow now on the there. Okay, that's not so bad. Sorry for the wobbling. Next, Goring Warplow. Prototype 1 in a black, or 6/4/5/4, and it has Death Touch. Eh, prototype is a 1/1. Not terrible. Tomacool Honor Guard. I mean, you know I love Death Touch, so I'm at least going to give it some props for that. This has Ward 2, and it's a 3/1. Well, I mean, because it's a 3/1, that kind of sucks, so I'm going to say no. Depth Charge Colossus. Interesting story. I was actually trying to find for the life of me an artifact or a green creature today that had mana value 9, and I don't think I have any in my collection that aren't at least already in a deck. So that was disappointing, but if you know of one that I did not think of, give me a shout out in the comments and maybe I'll find a copy of it somewhere in my collection, but I do love the depth chart guy, though. I like this one, too. This isn't bad. You get a 10/10 with Reach and Trample, or you get a 3/5 if you pay 3 and 2 green. Whereas this is a 9 for a 9/9, or 4 and 2 blue for a 6/6. And the issue with this one is it doesn't untap during your untap step. So as soon as you've attacked with it, you're going to have to pay 3 to untap it. There are cards that can get you around that issue, but I mean, still, that one kind of isn't the best. I just love the artwork on that one, to be perfectly honest, a lot more. That one reminds me a lot of the oh, what's that movie? It's gonna bug me now that I've forgotten what it is. Pacific Rim. This reminds me of the Juggernauts from Pacific Rim. Alright, we got Philology Vanguard. First strike 2/3, 2 and a red and a white. And whenever this and another creature enter the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Not bad. Great for token decks. Yoshin Tactician. Other soldiers you control get +1/+1. Well, that's pretty good. If you get a blue, red, and white soldier deck going, I mean, that's pretty solid. Zephyr Sentinel. 1 and a blue for a 2/1 soldier. Flash, flying. When it enters the battlefield, return up to one other target creature you control to its owner's hand. If that creature was a soldier, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. Maze Mine Tomb. Tap, put a page counter on this thing, and then scry 1. Pay 2, tap, put a page counter on this thing, and draw a card. When there are 4 or more page counters on this thing, exile it, and if you do, you gain 4 life. I don't like the last part of that. I wish you could keep this thing in play, because that thing's pretty cool. But the fact that you have to exile it as soon as you get 4 counters on it, that sucks. And it's not like, if, like, at the end of turn or something, where you can actually, like, do something about it. Like, you have to knock down those counters as they're coming on, essentially. Which is kind of tough. Goku Master Wizard is an okay legendary. It's not my favorite by any means. At the beginning of your end step, if you cast a non-creature spell this turn, you reveal the top 5 cards of your library. For each card type among the non-creature spells you've controlled or you've cast this turn, you can put a card of that type from among those revealed cards into your hand. So if you cast an artifact this turn, you get to put an artifact in your hand. If you put an enchantment in, you get to put an enchantment in your hand, etc., etc. As long as it's not a creature. Yeah. And as long as you cast it, so therefore it can't be a land. And Ashnod's Intervention. 1 black for an instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies, or is put into exile from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. Nice. That's pretty good. Decent hollow. Not the best pack ever, though, by any means, but I mean, we're just doing this for vacation time. So like I said, I've got a few more decks I want to build. I want to do some games this week, too. I haven't played a game of Commander for about a week now. Oh, and the other news I wanted to share with you guys is I found out apparently I'm going to be Kaiba and I are going to have the house to ourselves until the end of this month, probably. So there could be a couple more live streams coming your way in the near future. At least one, possibly. 2, but those will be after vacation. We got a 2/2 knight. There's no art card, it doesn't seem, so just a token. Nothing on the backside of the token. Forest. We needed to do a pack trick for this one. Shoot. Sabira. Okay, well, let's see if we can figure out what the. Well, it's already kind of too late. We'll do it next time. Sabira Toolzity Caravaner. 2/3, 2 in a red, haste. Another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn if you pay 1. If you pay 1 and red and tap this, you discard your hand, and until end of turn, whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. Huh. Weird legendary to play around. Ooh, Fabled Passage is a good pull, though. That's a solid pull for sure. Sacrifice this, search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. If you control 4 or more lands, you get to untap that land. I thought this only came out in Bloomburrow, so actually that's really cool. I had no idea this came out before in Core 2021. Possibly even before that. Epitaph Golem, put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library for paying 2. It's a 3/5 and it costs 5 to put in play. That's a pretty decent artifact. I like that. This pack's been hardcore, much better pack than this one. Zombies control get +1/+0 at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died this turn, you can pay 1 and a black, and if you do, get to create a 2/2 zombie creature token. Nice. Good little warlock. Teferi's Tutelage. Enchantment. When this enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard card. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills to. Ooh, shoot. That is going to my blue deck probably for sure at some point. That is a crazy card. The blue deck is not one of the ones I'm planning to edit right now, um, because I figure I'll edit that when I go to do some editing next month. This month, I want to focus on the 2 Lord of the Rings decks that need to be upgraded some. I'm also going to go back to the werewolf deck. I'm going to take out Wolverine, I decided, and that little package that I put in there because, to be perfectly honest, that deck really isn't designed super heavily around +1/+1 counter stuff, first off. And second off, I really want to just add some more werewolf themed stuff in there that's actual werewolf stuff, just to make it more flavorful, because I really like that deck being the way it was originally. Wolverine is going to end up in another deck that I'm editing, which I will preview on the channel when it's upgraded as well at some point. But I don't want to spoil which one it's going into because I want that to be a surprise. You have seen the deck on the channel at some point before, though, so if you go back through my catalog, you've got a good chance of guessing which one it's going into. Shock. 1 red for an instant that deals 2 damage to any target. Nice. Roaming Ghostlight, 3 and 2 red, 3 and 2 red, 3 and 2 blue for 3/2 flying. When this thing enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target non-spirit creature to its owner's hand. Okay. Infernal Scarring, 1 and a black, enchant creature. Enchanted creature is +2/+0 and has, when it dies, draw a card. Okay. Ooh, Basari's Acolyte in a nice artwork. I'm not sure what the reasoning is for the different artwork, but I like it. Plus, it's a kitty. Always like kitties. 2/3 with lifelink. When it enters a battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures you control. Okay. I wonder if that's just like a misprint because you can see like the coloring is really bad on that. Is there any other white ones we've gotten so far? No. Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's like an ink thing. If that's a misprint card, like the ink is like messed up and whatever, that's actually going to be worth some money to some people because people like it when their cards aren't printed right. Snare Spinner, 1 and a green for 1/3 with reach, and when it blocks a creature with flying, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn, so it becomes a 3/3. Decent. Rise Again is always a good one to pull. 4 and a black. Get to bring a target creature from your graveyard back to the battlefield. The best part is it doesn't come in tapped. Throw of a Possibility, 1 and a black. You can, as an additional cost cast it, you have to discard a card, and then you get to draw 2. Celestial Enforcer, 2 and a white. See, now that one, look at the coloring there compared to there. I'm just saying, either that is like special treatment for some reason, and I don't know why it's special treatment, or there is like some sort of fading print error on that one, which makes this one worth at least something to somebody. Anyways, pay 1 and a white, tap this to tap target creature, but you can only do it if you control a creature with flying. Huh. Okay. And turn to Slag. 3 and 2 red. Deals 5 damage to target creature. Destroy all equipment attached to that creature. Shoot. That's harsh. I like it. Alright. Decent packs. Decent packs. Like I said, I wanted to keep these videos short. That was actually a lot longer than I meant it to be, 25 minutes. I'll probably get these vacation logs down to like 10, 15 minutes by the time I go back to work next week. I plan to do a log basically on Wednesday, probably one on Friday, but it'll be a cell phone one. And I'll probably do it from like my car or something, or maybe really late at night after I've hung out with Kai. We'll see. Not sure where we'll do it. And then I'll do one more on the Monday before I go back to work on the Tuesday next week. So you'll get a few of those at least, a few more openings, and a few more updates on everything that's going on in the channel and everything that's going on with me and Kaiba. And now I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to order a pizza because I'm really freaking hungry. Much love to you all from Kaiba and I to you. Take care. And we hope to see you guys tomorrow for Dollar Round Draws of Destiny. All right. Ciao.